Willie D Live.
What's up, family? Some people think Diddy prosecutors haven't made their case for Rico because they haven't shown the enterprise part of the requirements. What say you, fam? Give me a thumbs up if you think the Diddy prosecutors have made their case for Rico. Thumbs down if you say, nah, man, nah, they ain't did jack. So what are the enterprise part of the Rico requirements? It's the idea that Diddy was running an organized criminal group with a shared purpose, structure, and continuity. They may have been shown disturbing behavior or isolated incidents, but Rico cases require more. A pattern of racketeering activity tied to criminal organization, not just bad acts of an individual. Critics also point out that a lot of the information being circulated comes from lawsuits and media leaks, not formal indictments. Civil cases can use a lower burden of proof than criminal cases. So unless prosecutors present solid evidence like wiretaps, financial records, or cooperating witnesses showing a coordinated criminal operation, it'll be hard to prove Rico. Family, in short, people who are skeptical of these charges against Diddy, they don't deny that something shady happened. It's just that we don't believe that the things that have been shown in court, the evidence that has been presented in court, amounts to racketeering. That's all it is. It ain't somebody trying to favor Diddy or somebody trying to, hoping some dude that's a bad guy gets off. You know, this is supposed to be a nation of laws, right? This is supposed to be the country where everybody's given a fair trial. It's amazing how people in this country will, pump their fists for justice and talk about, fairness and all of this stuff until it's somebody that they don't like. And then at that point, they don't care what the hell the prosecution presents. They don't care what the prosecution does. They don't care what happens to them if they don't like them. The hypocrisy is staggering. Quite plain and simple. I don't believe that the prosecution has proven its case. Yeah, I don't think most people will deny that Diddy is a bad guy. Yeah, he's done some bad things. I mean, for a long time. So it's a difference if, somebody do a bad thing here, bad thing there, did something bad right there. And a lot of times, if it happened long ago, right? As far as we know, Diddy was this guy up until the moment they stopped him, the moment he was arrested. Diddy was a bad actor. So we don't deny that Diddy was a bad actor. But what we're saying is his behavior doesn't add up to Rico charges. Now, if they'd got him for domestic abuse, that would be hard for him to fight because there's plenty evidence that has been presented. I mean, Cassie, man. Boy, I saw one picture of Cassie with, like she had a cut like up here like a damn boxer's cut or something. Like a fighter. The damn cut was about that big and it was deep. Damn near like a quarter of an inch deep. I know they said something about he threw a frying pan at her or something. Like, damn. I don't even know how you can hate somebody that much that you have, shared all of this history with and celebrations with and, slept next to. Like, yeah, man. I don't know what's going on with Diddy, but Diddy got a problem with women, a serious problem. I don't know where it stems from, but he has a problem, a serious problem with women. And the trip part about it is he had no shortage of women who was willing to go through that abuse. He had no shortage of women lining up to deal with it. Men too. A lot of these dudes, they've gotten on the stand to testify. They were paid. They were paid. They didn't want to say anything because, Diddy was paying their rent. Diddy was, paying for the car note. Diddy was paying for the extracurricular activities. Diddy was stroking those checks. And as long as Diddy was stroking those checks, nobody said nothing. And when somebody did say something, instead of them going to the police, they went to the lawyer. See, right there, that automatically undermines your credibility to me, fam. Because if somebody do you wrong, somebody commit a crime against you, first thing you do is you try to assess the situation, and maybe you want to try to take the law into your own hands, but if you don't, you just call the police and let them deal with it. You don't call the lawyer and say, let me file a lawsuit. I'm going to file a lawsuit and hit them where it hurts. No, you contact the police. And that has not been the case in many of these situations. Well, in all of the situations, nobody ever called the police, but everybody was scared. You've heard those saying, if you're scared, call the police. Scared, call the cops. Nobody called the cops. In any event, to prove Rico, there has to be more than just a group of people around Diddy. There has to be hierarchy, roles, and purpose, not just a bunch of people in an entourage. But what say you, fam? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. No more talk.